Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Monica.
Wow. Well, thoughts become things. If you learnt nothing else from this conversation, take that with you. Thoughts become things. We're going to take a break and then we'll see you back here for the Circle of 12.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. That was wonderful with Mike Dooley. What a treasure.
Absolutely. And I love the very 3 impactful words, thoughts become things.
And I'll tell you, that whole idea, that principle of you can create your own reality and thoughts become things, that was laughed at. When I started channeling, I remember that very premise being presented, and people thought it was just stupid. And now here we are, 30 years later, and it's almost mainstream. I think part of that was caused by The Secret. And thank you, Mike, for all that you do and being part of such a wonderful project.
Absolutely. It's a wonderful reminder again, thoughts become things. And how Kryon says is that consciousness is energy. And so we can use our consciousness to send energy.
What I'd like to do now is move into a part of the program we call Miracle Moments. It's about celebrating the miracles of others, and it's about connecting and sending love and compassion to those who are asking for a miracle. I want you to know that the energy of compassion and prayer for others is powerful. Group prayer works. Many of our members have told us about the miracles that they have received. I'd like to ask Monica to share a miracle moment, which happened to 2 of our Circle of 12 members.
So I have 2 miracle moments to share this evening, and they came from Italy. They were shared to me by our Kryon Italian team, Luca and Julia. And Luca and Julia, we love you. You do such a wonderful job in bringing Healing Wednesday to our Italian family. And actually, we have many wonderful teams that translate Healing Wednesday into Spanish, Portuguese, German, and Hebrew. But back to the miracle moments. The first miracle happened to Irene, and Irene says, I went to the dentist for a small procedure on a tooth, and the dentist told me, let's start working, and if it hurts too much, we will stop and do some anesthesia. I then remembered what Lee Carroll said about his surgery. I spoke with Innate and my cells, explaining that the dentist's work and tools were being used to restore the tooth to its shape so that it could carry out its function for a long time to come. It was a wonderful experience. I could feel the work being done, but without any kind of annoying sensation. I didn't even feel the sensation of cold water or air when washing and drying the area. I was in this place of peace and serenity where my cells were dancing with the tools and all the other things the dentist was using. The most wonderful part is that this experience made me realize that this works for me too and not just for others, as I tended to think before. I have such immense gratitude to Kryon and Lee. Oh, thank you, Irene. And this second miracle moment comes from Elisabetta. And Elisabetta says, I want to share my successes so that they can help other people. About 2 years ago, I listened to Kryon talk about innate and that we are the commanders of our own biology. Due to an emotional shock from when I was fired and lost my job, my blood sugar rose to a very high level in the morning on an empty stomach. Not even the medicine the doctor gave me could bring it back to a normal level. So much so that I stopped taking the medicine. Instead, I started talking to my innate and sending love to my cells, asking to normalize the situation. After about 3 months, my blood sugar level dropped back to normal without any medicine, and it continues to remain stable even today. Thanks to all of you, and thank you for sharing those wonderful examples of how powerful we are. And I hope all of you paid attention that both of these examples were to show you that you can do this as well. It's not just for others. So what I'd like to do now is to send energy of love and compassion to all those who have requested our help. So it's so easy to do this. I invite you to close your eyes and to focus on the area of your heart. And as you focus on the area of your heart, I invite you to relax your breathing, breathing nice deep breaths slowly in through the nose, out through your mouth, and continue focusing on the area of your heart. And as we focus on that area of the heart, let us feel, sense, imagine, or visualize the cells of our heart dancing to the song of love, gratitude, appreciation, and compassion. And so just continue to feel, sense, imagine, visualize the area of your heart. Visualize, feel, sense, imagine the cells of your heart vibrating and dancing to the song of love, compassion, gratitude, appreciation. And as we continue focusing on the area of our heart, we create a coherence of energy between all of us. And from this place, we are now moving in a beautiful rhythm of love, dancing to the music of unconditional love and compassion. And just like music, the notes that are played can float through the air and be transmitted to those around the musician. Let us now feel, sense, imagine, or visualize the dancing cells of our heart now floating out into the air, and those frequencies, those notes, those vibrations are now being felt and perceived by those around us. And because we are many on this planet, and because there is a quantum energy that surrounds us, these notes and music and vibrations and frequencies of the song of love is now being transmitted to all of those who are requesting help from us. And it's also being transmitted to those who are requesting a miracle to happen for them. It could be a synchronicity. It could be emotional healing. It could be a physical healing. But right now they are being bathed in a flood of music and dancing of joy, happiness, and gratitude. And so let us hold this energy, this frequency of love, as we move across and welcome Kryon.
Greetings, dear ones. I am Kryon. Come a little closer. This is the Circle of 12. And I've said before, it really doesn't have anything to do with 12 of anything. It is a metaphor for the structure of all things. Everything is based in 12 or segments of 12 in the universe. This structure is where we take you. We take you to a journey to visit your own soul. That has been the premise of the Circle of 12 ever since we began. But more than a premise and more than an exercise, more than a working meditation, it has an element of reality that we told you from the beginning that we expect you to discover. It's a funny word, expect you. Usually we'd say, we invite you to discover it. Now we expect you to discover it. And the reason is because it's there. It's before you. If I invited you to see something when I turned on the light, that wouldn't really be the word, would it? I expect you to see something when we turn on the light. If it's there, you'll see it. I expect you to feel the reality of what we do next. What has happened in 3 to 4 decades of human consciousness is a gradual evolvement. An evolvement in all areas, but the one that is the most profound is the spiritual one. The one that sees an answer to who am I? It's the one that sees magnificence where before there was victimization. Now that's a big statement, but it's true. There are so many asking the questions, what's next? Who am I? What's this all about? And receiving answers. Instead of wringing their hands, thinking they have nothing to do with anything and what's going to happen next, there are those who are actually understanding and seeing the reality of the energy they have as pieces of God that they are. There is divinity in all of you. We're going to cross the bridge yet again, as we always do. We're going to go into that beautiful area, this first meeting of the year, as we always have, and invite you once again to feel, could this be real? To feel the answer to that question. Could this be real? A reality that is perhaps different from the one that you grew up in, the one you walk around in, but it's real nonetheless. Is it possible that there are levels of reality? And the answer is, oh yes. Is it possible there are multidimensionalities, experiences that are yours that are every bit as real as the one that you experience walking around in 4D? And the answer is yes. I wish you could ask the shamans of old and their cosmology. Tell me about the levels of reality, and they would start in and they would give you a walkthrough of how they've been to many of them and come back with information from all of them. I would like to take you to another reality. It is your soul. It's across that bridge. Come, take my hand. Walk with me. Hold my hand as we walk across this bridge representing a place you know to a place you don't know. And even those who have been with us from the beginning and have crossed this over 100 times, you still don't know what's there. You only experience a touch of it, a piece of it. But that piece is always some of the most beautiful experiences you could have. Human being, come with me now across the middle of the bridge that obfuscates what's the destination. And as you cross this bridge, come into the light. A beautiful light that is not necessarily brighter than you have seen before. It's just more magnificent than you've seen before. Come with me from black and white to color. Come with me where everything you see has life and dances before you. Whether it's the grass or the ground or the sky, it all knows you, greets you, and says, welcome back. And here you are. Walk with me through that beautiful doorway that has your name on it that says, we invite you to still another experience. Come with me. Come on in. Again, come to a very large place with a chair where you're going to be administered to. It's about time. Again, we go to a situation where there will be one or more angelic beings from an angelic realm, you might say, which is only to say they're just like you, only they're on this side of the veil, my side of the veil, the one that's least understood, the one that you say has angels, and we say friends. Sit down in that chair, be ready, because here comes the angel who I will say is absolutely nameless, but humans want to name them all. It's interesting, because after you've named the angel, it'll go away, it'll come back, and you'll name it something else, because the angel never looks the same. This is multidimensionality at its best. Here comes this beautiful angel, and it greets you. It comes before you as you sit there, and it kneels down. Isn't this interesting? Takes your hands and says, welcome home. Good to have you back, if even for a few minutes. It's great to have you back. And you recognize not just the majesty, but the friendliness, the camaraderie of this beautiful friend, angel. The angel stands and begins to paint pictures in the sky, you might say, or around you, of something very specific for you to see. And then you realize what this angel is doing. The whole purpose is to show you the future. It's a generic kind of future, not a specific one. The angel paints civilizations that are smiling. The angel paints the future of Earth. The angel paints skies which are not polluted. The angel paints for you the evolving joy of humanity. A joy that comes from no starvation. A joy that comes from no war. A joy that comes to having figured out how different cultures can live with one another with totally different ideas. I mean, even ideas about God. They figured it out. A culture that has an allowance of belief for another culture. Those are the pictures that are painted in the air before you. The angel of the future, you might say, is telling you it's going to be different than you think, dear ones. Do not stress or worry about what is coming for this planet, because you are here to help at difficult times. And then the angel paints a picture of you, and it shocks you and surprises you. You recognize it, but you don't recognize it. You really don't. And this may not sit well with many of you, but the picture is of a child. And it's not you as a child. It's you in the future as a child. Then the angel goes further and paints children from the child. And that'd be your children. And the angel sits back and says, this is your legacy. You will begin it this time in this lifetime, and you will be enjoying it the next time, and the next time, and the next time. All this the angel is showing you is the evolution of the consciousness of this planet to a place you don't expect, where humanity eventually understands joy, compassion, and the absolute need for some of these things like kindness and allowance and the realization that you're all the same. At the core level, you all have this same kind of soul. If I said it was the same soul, you wouldn't like that. But in a multidimensional way, it is. You come home, and home is the same culture. The sacred one, this one that you're visiting now, the one that greets you unconditionally and says, welcome home. But on earth, it's changing. And you may say to yourself, well, it doesn't look too good right now. And the angel knows what you're thinking and says, welcome to a planet you have asked to be on that's in trouble because it's in correction, because it is eliminating dark, because it is waking up, because it is becoming colorful from black and white, because it is changing in a way that is exceptionally difficult. It's a change of consciousness, and it may take generations, and you will be here when it does. That's what the angel is saying. And you may even be so bold as to say to the angel, well, this is wonderful, but how about me? How about my future? Right now, what's going to happen to me? And the angel looks at you and smiles and holds your hands and say, picture all things beautiful. And the angel looks at you and says, promise me, picture in your mind all things beautiful, and then put you at the center of it, and it will happen that way. Because you are powerful, human being. It's time you realized it. Relax, 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 and be loved. This is the future. For you, for humanity. It's what you think that then becomes the reality. That's the energy of consciousness that is love. Thank you, human, for crossing this bridge with me to hear these words about how magnificent you are and how much hope there is for all that is coming. Thank you, human being, for enduring ugly things and darkness and spreading the light where you can and being patient while you do. I am Kryon, in love with humanity. And so it is.
Everyone takes inspiration from what you're sharing with us. So Joy continues and says, I made a statement without any anger of any kind while completing an everyday task. My partner became angry and said I had a tone. He continued in an angry outburst. In this moment, I felt unbalanced and I remembered the answer from Kryon about anger. I responded without anger, but my response was not heard. I realized this was not about me. This was not my issue. I consciously chose to re-listen to Kryon channelings. I experienced a healing. I became calm in a safe place. I lit a candle and remembered that I am the lighthouse. In order to focus on the candlelight, I turned the light off in the room. It was dark and I received another gift. There was a beautiful full moon shining across the lake from my window. In that moment, my perspective changed and I felt loved and blessed. I sent love and compassion to my partner and I placed him on the healing list, and I am sending love to him every day and to all of the Circle of 12 members and more. At 11:11 every day, I send healing comfort to all those I have harmed in any way in all directions of time. This is my healing and my miracle moment. Joy, you are such an inspiration. Thank you for being the beautiful lighthouse you are. And I love the example of you sending healing energy and comfort to anyone you've harmed in any timeline. So beautiful. So let's send let's send an energy of the entity Kryon to Joy's husband. I love the thought of that kind of being clandestinely sending him a love missile because he actively avoids Healing Wednesday. Well, guess what? You can't actively avoid our love because it's coming right to you right now. So And any other partner, by the way, who actively avoids Healing Wednesday and actively avoids Kryon and Love, you can't help it. We're sending it anyway. So here's what I'd like to do. Set the intention that we are going to send a love missile to anyone who is actively avoiding trying to have anything to do with the message of the Creator. So I invite you to close your eyes and just focus on the energy of your heart. And there is such capacity within your heart to generate the feelings and emotions of love, compassion, kindness, and benevolence. And as we focus on generating this feeling of love, compassion, and kindness, let us send a love missile to all of those who are holding the Creator behind a filter. And so this love missile, the intention of the love missile is simply to dissolve any filters that may be in place for those who are resisting the broadcast of love from the Creator. And so we're just sending love, compassion, benevolence. There is zero judgment in this. The filters, we all have them at some level. So we're just sending that energy to dissolve any filter that exists that stops the receiving of the love from the Creator. Beautiful. And so now we turn our attention and focus to those who are requesting prayers of help and benevolence. And while our focus is placed on this group, again, we wish to send the energy of love to dissolve any filters that may be in the way of them receiving their miracle moment. And they may be subconscious filters that we're not even aware of that exist. And it doesn't even need to be identified, because love will disarm all energies that are not love itself. And so we continue sending wave after wave of love, specifically targeting any filters to dissolve so that nothing remains but the love that is sent. And let us now extend that to our family of humanity. There are filters of growing up, filters of the culture we are in, filters of our gender, filters from those who taught us. So we just want to shower and send the energy of love to all of those filters so that they may soften and dissolve and invite the energy of allowance, the allowance to receive love and benevolence. And so let us now invite the energy of Kryon that can help us to dissolve any filters that we may have so that we can deepen our connection with the Creator. Thank you, Kryon. We are ready.
Greetings, dear ones. I'm Kryon. Come a little closer. This is the Circle of 12. It's simply a meditation. It doesn't ask a human to change their mind about what they believe. Not really. It doesn't ask a human to do anything that was against that which they might already be willing to do. It doesn't ask them to join anything. It only asks every human to drop into their heart and consider who they are. It's a safe place. It's not even a strange place. Some would say that meditation itself, or listening to a channeler, is a strange place. And that's what they've been told. If that's you, I invite you to choose for yourself how odd this might be. Do you believe in angels? Most of humanity actually does. The idea that there could be some kind of a spiritual, influential messenger? Yes. And history is filled with the idea that angels have come down in almost every belief system, and they have touched humans in certain ways. Do you believe in a creative source, God, Spirit? If you do, in any form at all, is it too much for you to think that this God or Spirit loves you enough to give you a loving message? Perhaps you were told, well, God doesn't work that way. Is that what you believe as well, as you were told from some authority? Some authority who tells you how God works and does not work? Or are you willing, perhaps, to choose for yourself? This is not a gentleman, a man sitting in a chair on a streaming broadcast trying to sell you something. And this is what the idea is of so many in your culture. Without listening to any meditations, any circle of 12s, any channeling, their mind is made up. That's what this is about. I am trying to sell you something. I'm trying to sell you on the free choice of your own decision about who you are. This meditation takes you across an imaginary bridge, a bridge between that which you know and that which you don't know. Is that fair enough for you? Is it too spooky? Is it cult-like? Let's find out. Come with me right now. Take my hand. Let's go across this bridge. A guided meditation is simply that. I guide you into a visualization. Don't come unless you're comfortable. You cross this bridge in love. And what you expect is something good. This or something better for you. It's a safe place where no one is going to talk you into anything or make you do anything besides examine your own truth, your own magnificence. And as you cross this bridge, you enter into such a beautiful energy, which we say is you visiting your own soul. Tell me about what you have been told about your soul. Human? Do you have one or not? Almost all humanity says, yes, of course I have one, and it's somewhere off in the distance, and it's in heaven, it's on the other side of that veil. So it is there. What if you could visit it? What if you could go there and see that beauty that God provides? The love that God provides. That's where we are going. Does that bother you? Circle of 12 members, you can see I'm talking to those perhaps the first time here, or might even be doubting it. To let them know that this is a safe place of beauty and love, compassion, where no one asks anyone to do anything they might otherwise do. Go through an imaginary door with me, which is still there. After 3 years, this door takes you into another area and invites you to know that something's coming. And it's always something good that is coming. This is no exception. It's a guided meditation designed to help you love yourself. It's a guided meditation to help you feel better when it's over. It doesn't call for any action. It doesn't call for you to get up and go do something. Instead, it invites you to relax. Sit down. There's a chair here. Sit down. If you're not already sat, sit down. In the visualization, in this meditation, you take a seat and prepare to be administered to be prayed for, to have a visitor, if you wish, who is going to talk to you about how magnificent you are. It's a good thing. It's not a trick. It doesn't ask you to do anything but listen to information about yourself. Do you believe in angels? Visualize one coming in right now. Jeremiah. Jeremiah is an interesting energy in history. It's an angel of transition, you might say, of change. So here is an angel that would help you through changing times. Do you have any? Are there any for you? Anything happening in your life that is bothering you because it's a change to something that is different, and you don't know the future, perhaps, or you're a little concerned because you feel a change coming, perhaps. Well, here is an angel that will sit before you, hold your hand, and tell you about it. Is that something that you will accept? Why not? Figuratively, take the hand of this angel while it starts to talk to you. Here is the change you don't expect. Dear human being, this angel will say to you, are you aware that you can change your own chemistry, your own DNA, and that your own scientists have started to see these things? Not to the extent that I'm going to tell you, but with an idea that indeed something is happening. What if you could change your own bodily chemistry so that whatever happens next for you is peaceful, is beautiful, that it wouldn't be anxious, that you can walk right into change and not worry about it before it happens? Is this starting to relate to anything in your life? This is the purpose for tonight's Circle of 12. That you might sit there and say, I accept this message, that there's more than I understand. In the generic spirituality of anything that I've learned in my belief system, I know God is love. I know angelic realm things are real. I'm ready to accept it. And if you are, there's a lot of information that may sound odd or strange or weird, only because it's science that has not appeared yet. Did you get that? So many times there are those that say, I only believe what has been proven by the scientists of my day. What if you had said that 200 years ago? There are so many things that have happened that have been proven in 200 years. And if that was you 200 years ago, you'd have been wrong. And now you go, oh, I see. Oh, yes, they showed. Oh, yes, science has come along. Would you go then the next 20 years with me? Are there things that you don't know that are coming, that you think are strange and weird and odd, that are really science and will be shown to you when the time is right and it comes? And the answer is yes, because it already has. That's the way it works. Odd things are not odd after a number of years, and you find out why. Love is consistent through history. Why don't you go with that one? Does God love you enough to give you peace over what's coming in your life? Yes or no? I think you'd have that answer. Even the unbeliever who may be sitting here has to say, yes, God has enough love for me. And if you are one that will go to that extent with me, just to say, God loves me enough that I can listen, then now you know what the Circle of 12 is all about. The angel, Jeremiah, wants to sit and infuse you with the ability to have peace during change in your life, especially that which is chemical, which may change the healing of your body. Do you have anything at all that hurts? Do you have anything you're worried about in your body? Is there anything? And most will say, there is. Why don't you let the love of God transmute that and make you feel not only better, but perhaps when you awaken, you'll say, I don't know why, but something has changed. And if it has, Welcome to the magnificence that you really are. In this safe place, we give you this message, and always have. Through all of these years, dear ones, you're bigger than you thought. There is so much there already for you to glean and understand that you've been kept from it simply by unbelief. Maybe it's time to open that just a little bit. Sit and be administered to by this beautiful angelic realm entity who represents the love of God. Stay. Stay. I am crying in love with humanity, and so it is.